project is something that has a beginning, an end and an objective. And project management is how you organise and carry out the project, making sure you meet your objective to time and within your budget. It's something you'll get better at as time goes on, but here are a few key tips to start with.
When you're working towards an objective and people are working on their separate tasks, it's essential to make sure the team knows what's going on. Without clear communication, people could lose track, do the wrong thing, or even each other's tasks. Therefore, it's pretty much critical to a successful project. Making sure you talk, email, text, as this will help keep communication flowing, create solutions to any problems, and get the project team to the finish line.
If the aim of your project is to do something for somebody else, it's important you keep them in the loop. If you're running behind, tell them. If you don't know what colour to paint the walls, ask. Mind reading is not an easy thing to do, and surprises, especially bad ones, aren't welcome.
A good starting point for planning is a brainstorming session, getting everyone's ideas down in one place where they can all be considered by the group will help ensure that you've covered off everything. This also helps to outline any elements of your project that you need to investigate a bit further. This could be anything from when it's going to get dark, if you're going to do something outside, to if there are toilets nearby.
Once you think you've discussed everything, it's important to pick out the key points and come up with a structure. This could take the form of a set of deadlines, a list of objectives, or a list of tasks that need to be completed. It's also important to consider the order in which they need to be done, and if any of them are dependent on one another.
Having a few backup plans is always useful and can help save time if those problems ever crop up. They could be for things such as, what if you run out of supplies? What will you do if you run out of time and can't finish? Or what if you run out of money?
It's useful to have someone in charge of the money. Keeping records and knowing what you have left are two important tasks for this person. It helps to keep the team informed about the money, so regular updates for everyone involved in the project is very handy. Also, a good way of managing the money is to put the activities and materials into groups of must-haves, things that are 100% required by the project, and nice-to-haves, which are non-essential items. That way, you can ensure the must-haves for the project are budgeted for.
Everybody involved in a project has a role, but you need to be sure what the roles are for each person. It's not simply about making sure everyone is involved, but about making sure all the jobs get done and on time. It's also important to ensure that each person has the right skills in order to complete what's asked of them. For example, if you're not confident with numbers, don't manage the money.
There are so many aspects to a project that it's important everyone pays attention to the areas they're responsible for. And part of that is being clear about exactly what those areas are and the objectives within each one. It's worth taking a moment at the start of the project to be sure of what exactly you need to do. In addition, you need to speak up if things start to go off course.
When you start a project, it's easy to get carried away and be unrealistic about how far your money can stretch, how much time you have, and what you can achieve. You need to ask yourself, is the plan realistic? And don't set out to try and perform a miracle because no one expects you to.
Many projects need to be renegotiated as they go on, so be ready to think on your feet and be flexible. Remember, it can still finish on time if you address your problems early and your solutions are realistic. Rushing or cutting corners is never the answer.
a team doesn't work together and isn't motivated, the work not only seems a lot harder, but people are less willing to do it. A highly motivated, energetic team that communicates well with each other and has an understanding for one another is far more likely to reach their goals. The earlier parts of your NCS experiences will have helped you build relationships with one another in a friendly environment, and it's important you use these relationships to benefit the team during the project stage.
About creating an environment where people are not afraid to ask for help, and at the same time, a feeling that all team members can raise ideas and contribute to the project. Support that environment and you'll be supporting the project.
Often there will be many stakeholders. You're likely to be one: the charity, the local community, the organisers. All these groups are stakeholders, and it's important to remember that they are interested and possibly affected by the project.
Discuss and agree the plan for the project with the stakeholders. You don't have to go into the fine detail, but you need to be on the same page. Keep your stakeholders informed. Agreeing how often you'll give them updates or progress reports is a good way to ensure this happens. Check back with your stakeholders. Are they still happy with what's going on? Do you need to adjust or reassess the plan?
The obvious way is to take a look back at the end of the project and think about what went well and what could have gone better. You're bound to do this naturally, but if you really take a step back, you can see how far you've come, what skills you've developed and relationships you've built, which is a large part of getting involved in NCS.
Running and delivering a project can be stressful. No matter how well you plan, there are always unknowns and things you cannot control. It's important to find yourself in this position that you can take a minute to stop, take a deep breath and focus on the root of the problem.
So those were the key tips on project management. You will probably have noticed that they are all connected, and the first is as important as the last.
Remember,
It's your project.
You're in control.
Have fun
And good luck.